Shine, everyone. Thanks for starting your weekend with us here on 13 Sunrise. I'm Matthew Foltzel alongside Lindsay Monroe. 9 o'clock on your Saturday morning. Hopefully you had a great week. Hopefully, just ready to relax this weekend, because it's going to be one of those days where you just want to lay around, Lindsay, with this rain.
You know what people don't know about us, Matthew, is our schedule's a litle weird. It's like, obviously we're working right now, so we work like Saturday through Wednesday. So this is technically our Monday. Yeah. It is the most Mondayest Monday of clouds and rain, and it is just like the perfect Monday look outside, even though it's Saturday for most folks. And I wanted to show you what I'm talking about. I mean, doesn't this camera just look like a Monday? It does. It does. It is rough
Monday
out
to go
there.
back to bed.
Yeah, time to go back and take a nap. That's for sure. Just stay in bed. Get that breakfast in bed on a morning like this. Now, this is over on the east side. This is going to be I-70 near Shadeland Avenue. I do still want you to use caution if you do have to get out and about, because we had some freezing rain overnight. That has now wrapped up. But things like bridges, overpasses where that colder air can get underneath could cause some refreezing on anything that hasn't been treated, or perhaps has been but washed away because of the rain. Use caution this morning. We are getting a break, though. So this warm front to our south lifting north, it did change any remnant moisture from freezing rain back into just rain, but we're actually seeing a bit of a lull now. So this first wave is now making its way through, and because of that, the winter weather advisory that was supposed to be in effect through about 10 o'clock this morning for most of us has expired early. So that remains in effect for places like Richmond to Marion. Everyone else, though, that advisory has been allowed to expire as we continue to monitor just some light pockets of rain across the southern half of the state. Right now, we're at 34 in Indy. We're up to 37 in Muncie. It's 36 in Columbus, and we are anticipating temperatures to climb well above freezing across the board today. Enjoy some dry time this afternoon as we approach 42 for a high. Rain will return mainly after about 6 o'clock this evening, and then rain changes to snow overnight. So we've got some pretty big changes. We'll break down that latest timeline in the full forecast.
All right, we'll see you then, Lindsay. New this morning, we're working to learn more about a shooting that happened overnight on the city's east side. Metro Police say it happened around 2:30 this morning off of Meadowlark Drive near North Arlington and 38th Street. Officers say they found a teen shot at the scene. Shortly after gathering details at the scene, investigators say they found out that the suspect was still in the area nearby.
They were also told by people on the scene that the suspect ran out the back door right as officers arrived.
Now, right now, police have the suspect in custody, and we're told the victim is expected to be okay. We'll pass along any new information as soon as we learn more.
We can say with certainty that there was no mass shooting today at Mooresville High School, and our community is forever grateful.
18-year-old Mooresville senior Trinity Shockley is now facing several charges in connection with a planned attack on Mooresville High School. They just made their first court appearance yesterday and will be back in court next week. The alleged attack was stopped after police received a tip. Shockley appeared in court via video from the Morgan County Jail. Police say they found photos and posters of other mass shooters in Shockley's bedroom and threatening messages on social media. One of them included, quote, "Parkland Part 2, of course, I've been planning this for a year." Shockley was allegedly planning to carry out the attack years after the mass shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, which killed 17 people. Police here in Indiana say they're now thankful they were able to prevent a possible tragedy.
I think the threat at Mooresville High School has been handled. There's no indication at this point in the investigation that anybody else was involved, but we're not done. If we find out, we'll address it as we find information out.
Now, Shockley is due back in court next week and currently has no bond or facing no bond to be able to bail out. A jury trial has been scheduled for June 10th. This morning, we're also getting new insight into just how police were able to identify Shockley as a suspect in the first place. We're told the original tip came from hundreds of miles away in Wisconsin. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says the tip actually identified a different person as a possible suspect in a school threat. At the time, it was for a 19-year-old in Addison, Wisconsin. However, police could not determine or find a school in that Wisconsin area that was actually being targeted. So investigators took the 19-year-old into custody. That's when they found out she knew Shockley through social media, but the 19-year-old was not making the threats. Ultimately, an officer became friends with Shockley on social media and turned information over to the FBI here in Indianapolis. Now, according to the sheriff's office in Wisconsin, there is no evidence to suggest that the 19-year-old from Addison is connected to the alleged plot in Mooresville. And according to Mooresville schools, Friday's attendance was lower than usual. You can imagine students and parents are a little cautious still. Mass shootings and school threats are an unfortunate reality for many districts across the country. So this morning, our Logan Gay is getting a new perspective from a Mooresville mother and doctor who specializes in mental health.
On the day that would have been Trinity Shockley's day to execute the alleged plan of a mass shooting at Mooresville High School, some students, not yet comfortable going back to the classroom, decided to proceed with caution.
According to my daughter, a lot of the classes, there were only about half the kids there.
Mental health professional and CEO of Paramount Health Data Project, Dr. Addie Angelov, has been combing through Shockley's court documents, trying to figure out what everyone wants to know, what led up to this.
The trauma that she has experienced over this time. This is definitely a kid who was navigating things that she needed help with. That would be overwhelming for even me at 49.
According to court documents, Trinity is being raised by a single father, and Trinity's mother passed away. Trinity has also recently spoken to a Mooresville school counselor about an attraction to school shooter Nicholas Cruz. Court documents also shared messages Trinity allegedly sent to people on social media and wrote in notebooks about the desire to hurt others. Angelov says part of her research is how to create systems that connect better so things like this get caught early.
Figuring out how do we make sure that these systems are talking to each other, because in this case, you see the school system involved, you see law enforcement involved, you see DCS involved, you see all of these institutions and systems who all have data, who all have a role to play. But how do we really get those systems talking to each other and really leveraging those things?
Angelov says threats like this can also take a toll on the mental health of those around the individual.
The reality is we see this now, unfortunately, a lot. And so living in this constant pressure of making sure that kids are safe, but teaching them how to deal with their anxiety.
She hopes this situation sparks action to prevent it from happening again.
I'm hoping that we take this moment to really leverage the idea that this situation was predictable, but that means it's also preventable.
That was our Logan Gay reporting. Now, according to court documents, Shockley told police that the plans were a joke. Shockley also claims to not have access to a gun. Time is now 9:07. Defense attorneys for the man convicted of killing 2 girls in Delphi are now accusing the prosecutor of not turning over evidence that could have helped them defend their client. Richard Allen is now serving 130 years for the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German. In a motion filed Friday afternoon, Allen's attorney says he believes the prosecutor received evidence that might help prove 2 other people were involved in the girls' deaths, not Richard Allen. Now, Allen's attorneys want the judge to force the state to turn over the letters and video recordings of those details if it has them. The defense also suggested that the judge should hold the prosecutor in contempt for releasing these pictures of Libby's cell phone at the crime scene after the judge specifically sealed crime scene photos. The judge has not ruled on either issue. Well, 9:08 is the time on your Saturday morning right now, and we know that neighbors and organizers in Greenwood are getting ready for the Polar Plunge. It's to benefit Special Olympics of Indiana. It's happening over at Dyes Walk Country Club, and that's where our Anna Chalker is at this morning. And Anna, we know it's cold outside, so I can only imagine just how cold the water is that they're about to jump into.
It is. I will tell you, Matthew, it's slightly above freezing, the temperature of the water. And I will say, this is about as much as I'm getting in right there. It feels good on my finger. The rest of my body, that's a whole different story. We do not have to experiment that today. But hey, so much going on. We have about 170 people registered to jump today. So many people here. And we have someone to talk about this, an athlete rep. Chelsea, good morning.
Good morning.
You're getting ready to jump and you're getting ready. How excited are we today?
I am very excited. I can't wait. Jumping in 3 times for the first time is very exciting. I've done this before. This is probably my 25th year doing this. Definitely for a good cause.
How do you get your body ready for this? Because it's cold outside, it's cold in this water, and I'm sure it's fun, but at the same time not.
Honestly, like a lot of times I'll go outside, and if it's like this cold, I'll take like a walk or something, or just, get my body ready for it. I'm excited.
For sure. And how's it feel? Just over 100 people will be here today, just kind of supporting Special Olympics and all the athletes.
It's very exciting. I cannot wait. Just seeing that many people are coming to support us is very awesome.
For sure, Chelsea, thank you so much. She's got to get ready, and so do so many people here. We have a big day out here at the golf course for Special Olympics. We'll come back here at 9:30. We heard there's going to be a special guest here today. Hopefully we can see him. If not, we'll catch up with him a little bit later.
All right, certainly a big cause. Can't wait to see that surprise guest, Anna Chalker reporting live for us in Greenwood. Stay warm out there, Anna.